I think as we go through the week, that we'll determine that. Some of that has to do with Brien, and his ability to be cleared. He was in practice today, so he took reps in practice and those things. And so, I'm not going to really get into a lot of depth at the quarterback position with you guys. Just where we're at right now. We're still working through all those things. Look, here's a guy that that is a great player that's having to learn to play basically with one arm. And when you really think about that, I mean, to me, it's remarkable. His ability to adjust from the New England game to the Indianapolis game and learn and keep being disruptive. And I'm telling you, it's probably frustrating for him, but you talk about a superb athlete, trying to adjust to that type of an injury. That's a testament to him and his ability to still play at a very, very high level. He's had a good season. He's had a bunch of pass breakups. He had a big play in the Indianapolis game when he caused that fumble. He's one of our leaders of our team, not just that position, but leader of our team. Just a great guy. Really happy for him that the season has gone well for him. And right now with all those guys, including J-Jo, we really need them to keep playing well. Because these games only get tougher as we move on down the road here. There's a couple other guys too. I mean, don't forget now, Dwayne Brown, playing left tackle with a bad thumb, broken thumb. You got Charles James that's, playing with some issues with his feet. So, you've got a bunch of guys out there. Brian Cushing, right on down the line. Jonathan Joseph, like we talked about. Kareem Jackson. I mean, I can name a lot of guys, which is probably the same for everybody in this league. But I'm always real proud to be associated with the guys who really fight through things like that. We give them plays. We talk about our base offense. Then he comes back, maybe a couple hours later or the next day, and he says, hey, has his questions and maybe some things that he's done in the past that he thinks can carry. Hey, is this like this? I used to do this. These types of things. Very serious guy. Very business-like approach. Right away he's come in here and gone to work, and that's something that's impressed me right away in the first couple of days. Yeah, so he's had a lot of different experiences in his football career between being at South Florida and the things that he did there, and then being in Seattle, playing quarterback, also playing a lot of receiver in Seattle. So there's a lot of things that just about every pro football team runs play-wise, and so he has some carryover to some of the things that they did in Seattle to what we're doing. And then there's things that are different. Maybe it's our cadence, or obviously our play calls, or some of the things we read and things like that. So he's grinding through it. I thought he went out there today and did a lot of different things for us and looked good. The biggest difference is if you're being thrown into that position. Like for instance, Brandon last week, he only got one rep. And I think it was a run. So you're not getting the reps that the starter gets. You just don't have enough time to basically split the reps 50-50 in a week's time. So the starter gets the bulk of the reps. That's a big difference. I think the other thing is, look, when you are going in there as a backup, it's almost like you're going in there as a relief pitcher. Not to say that there's a nothing to lose attitude, but there's also somewhat of an attitude where maybe I have a chance here to do my job and spark the team. Spark the team, especially if maybe that quarterback unfortunately got injured like TJ or what it is. So I thought Brandon did a good job. I think the key with these guys too is those guys over the last 2 years that have been thrust into that role, for the most part, have shown really good poise. So they're able to go in there and kind of collect themselves, play it one play at a time, and try to do their job for the team. Never surprised about anything in this league. What we try to do in the off season, and even during the season, you watch so much film, and so obviously you're watching yourselves, you're watching your opponent, but you may grind through some other teams. Maybe it's a team that had a really good offensive game plan you heard about in a certain game, or maybe it's a quarterback that you want to take a look at. And then in the off season, you're looking at a lot of these quarterbacks. So we were familiar with Brandon and his skill set. He throws a really nice ball. He's got a good arm. He's got good poise, like I said, and he was a first-round draft pick. So the guy's got a lot of talent, and we're glad he's here.